What is the difference between a martial artist, UFC MMA, and a fighter? I'm going to give you an example of martial artists in the UFC right now, who I consider to be martial artists. First off is Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson, in my opinion, is a martial artist that fights in UFC, right? You can see that from his movement, his form, his technique, how he set up his techniques from the outside, his distancing, his range, and how he has been implementing the ground defense to sprawl, push off, and get back to his foot and lateral moving, executing his karate techniques. To me, that's a martial artist. And he also trains consistent basis and teaches martial arts to his students. Discipline, respect, honor, pass on his knowledge. So to me, that's a martial artist, right? Toyota Machida, to me, is a martial artist also, right? Come from a Shotokan background, trained martial arts daily basis. Traditional martial artists like Stephen Thompson, his dad is his sensei, instructor, has a martial arts school, has discipline, respect, honor. And if you notice the way how Stephen Thompson and Toyota Machida fights, it's in a defensive way, counter-fighting, because that's martial arts. Starts with defense only, counter-striking. When a person attacks you, you counter-strike them. There are some differences between Machida and Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson kickboxes, boxes. He has a little more of a sharper boxing technique where he implements it attacking on the offensive side. Machida is merely more just on Shotokan, on defenses, and has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, that's who I consider to be martial artists. And there are a few others that I consider to be martial artists too, right? You have Dominic Cruz, who has implemented boxing into his training, coming from a wrestling background, but he perfected it in a way where it works for him in the cage, and the technique, the form he has flows. So it looks technical when you look at it. It's accurate, precision, right? So it's not the fact of you just going in the cage and just throwing hands and foot and has no precision in your striking, no accuracy, looking sloppy. A martial artist trains on form. You need formation. You need accuracy, precision in your striking. Holly Holm is the next person. Precision in your striking. Anderson Silva. Conor McGregor. You have to understand your distance in your range. That's what I'm talking about. You have other people in the cage who just fight. Just come in there and fight, who are fighters, just fight. So they will just, land some leg kicks, land some punches, but you can tell that it's not technical. It's not precision in striking. They land 100 shots before they can even touch the opponent. It looks sloppy. That's just honestly speaking. And then they might go for a takedown or wrestle. Or, they might know ground game, but the striking is horrible. That's just being honest, right? Martial arts starts, base is stand-up. Everything else, ground, is important, but that comes secondary. But you need to know the ground if you're going to play the game. And you need to know the ground in a real life situation on the street. You can't just rely on just your stand up alone. Just in case. It's always good to add different techniques to your skill set. It's like having a toolbox with only a screwdriver. You want to have a variety of tools in there, not only just one screwdriver, right? So that's what I mean, that you want to add all these things to it, which they call it mixed martial arts. But the problem that I'm having now is that they're branding UFC as martial arts, as mixed martial arts, and making it look like you're just throwing a bunch of things together that you learn in a couple of days and then calling the person a martial artist. And in my opinion, it doesn't work like that. It takes years and dedication in the art, right? It takes years. You can't pick up something overnight and consider yourself to be a martial artist. It doesn't work like that. You have to perfect the technique. It can take you years before you even perfect it. Or even then, you might not even perfect it. You just have it good enough to where you can execute it, right? So that's basically it. And there's, as I said, there's athleticism. There's a lot of fighters that put in a lot of hard work in the conditioning, and that is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can be conditioned all you want. Eventually after a while, you're fighting somebody with good technique, good movement, all the conditioning, it's not going to help you, because you can last in the fight, yeah, sure, but then you're getting hit all over. You're getting technical strikes hitting you, and you don't know how to defend properly. You don't know how to move away from the techniques properly, because you don't put in enough training. You see what I'm saying? You train in the conditioning, which is great, but the other aspect is not there. So it's kind of confusing, but hopefully you get the concept, what I'm trying to get across.